Now guys, there was actually something I didn't show you there that you should do after you're messing around with the pull tool. You should check that everything has gone correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the outer skins of the domain. So I'm going to start going through this and making sure there's been no new surfaces created. And that happens sometimes, and this is the way you check it. So I removed the outer skins there, so my next skin will be the wheel radii, which are down there on the bottom of the wheels. Then my front wheel and my back wheel, my T wheel. Okay, I agree, all of them should be there. My wheel surrounds in the van are there. My mirror has been highlighted good. Bumper on the van, van bulk, van rear, you can see it was highlighted there. Trailer front, trailer top, trailer side. Um, what happened there? Did somehow trailer front get de-highlighted? Did. Trailer underside, trailer side, so I'm just careful now that I click everything. I'm rotating as well at the same time. Trailer interior, trailer rear, trailer misc, trailer wheels. And now you can just like, to be safe, you could like be hiding them one at a time, but I'm hiding them all here at once. And that was the trailer hitch there, as you can see. And then fine is just those fine little surfaces that aren't included in that. So I'm hiding them all here at once, but you can hide them individually. So you're like, okay, yeah, all the surfaces seem to have got included, but you don't know that. So the way you'll know, because if you come across here and select everything, put dragging from left to right, and that should all go yellow if no new surfaces have been created. So you can see here it's not going all yellow, which means there's been a surface created. You're like, where the hell is this? I'm looking and I can't see it. Okay, so the way you kind of debug this is you start off over here. Has this gone yellow? It has, so it's not over there, the new surface. So I'll check the van. So the van is happy. It's not on the van. Let's go through here. Okay, so that means it's in that area. See, I've kind of dragged it and it hasn't all gone yellow, so it's in there. So let's check, was there anything on the trailer? There's not. So I'm kind of saying, okay, it's kind of in this region here, which it is. So I'll check from over here. So I'm happy with that side, so it's definitely in around here. So let's see, can I come across it here if I highlight here? So I haven't seen anything been selected, but if you look underneath here, you'll see that there was a new surface created under here. So there's no other new surfaces. That's the only new surface. Now the way I merge this, so you're like, now what you don't want to go and do is highlight this and go and create a new surface. The reason you don't want to do that is because remember in your Fluent blocks, your blocks that you'll duplicate from here will be expecting all the same name selections. So you don't want to go creating any new ones or change the names on existing ones, if that makes sense. So the way we're going to do this is still part of the trailer hitch, and I want it to be part of the trailer hitch. So what I do is this, I'll show the trailer hitch, click show. I'll highlight the trailer hitch by clicking on it. I'll highlight this new surface with control. I'll then create a new name selection. I'll just call it 2, call it whatever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come into trailer hitch, I'm going to copy its name, and then I'm going to click delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. And then I come into 2, and I'm going to paste the name there. So now it still has the same name, and now it includes the surface that I needed to cut the extra surface, and I'm going to hide it. That way, the Fluent solver is still going to remember all the names, has been no new names created, and all the surfaces are meshed in with what they need to be. So if that ever happens with new surfaces, that's how you merge them in. And you check, see if I've gotten everything here by dragging over, everything goes yellow. There's no new surfaces. Game over. And you click X out of that, and as I showed you that workaround before, you can go to previous videos and not to just drag that thing straight into a Fluent block, but to duplicate it and go in and edit it in Design Modeler, the duplicated version of this, and then make sure that all the bodies are fluids. And if you go and look at one of my previous videos, you can see that. So that's a really important little trick there that I showed, because that surface would have went into this and it would have gotten whatever the general surface mesh sizing was. It wouldn't have been taken on board by that trailer hitch fine name selection sizing that I would have predestined for it in the mesh here. So hopefully you enjoy that, and thanks for watching. Right, so that mesh that you might remember at the kind of start of the video that I kind of set going with the plus 400 mil that I created. Remember I dropped the height on it and I brought it into the mesh, and I just right clicked and it auto updated all the mesh settings. That's finished now. So what I do is once that's come out, I X out of Fluent, and then I come up here and just click Save Project. And once that saves, then I'll just hop straight into the setup. So there is an option while you're in there to switch to the Fluent solver after you finish the mesh, but you shouldn't do that. You should come out to the main workbench here and save it before you go back into the setup. So I'm going to just let that load in, and I'm going to talk through all you have to do when you're doing as I am here. All I'm doing is just adjusting the heights of the trailers, and I've dropped the trailer down 200 millimeters in height, and you're just going to see here all I have to do just to adjust it so that I can run a new simulation on. So I'll just pause this while it's working along here. Right, so we're sort of loaded in here to the Fluent Mesher, the solver. And you notice here that all throughout, there's like 19 different simulations here in this workbench block. And all of them run off the same name selections here. So the Fluent solver will get really upset if it notices any of these are missing, or if it notices that there's been new ones created. So that's why you want to, if you're duplicating blocks, like I am out here, all them blocks have been duplicated all the way along there. Because all that's getting changed is the trailer height, so they've all been duplicated. And I don't want to be going creating new name selections or zones because it'll get upset at this point and it won't be happy. So that's one of the big things. And then when you come in here and look at your report definitions, you'll see that they're already selected. So it's all pretty automated if you kind of keep all the name selections in their place. So the only thing that it changed now, it's not going to change here. So they're my reference values. It's just the area. So you know how I'm adjusting the. So let me just display this without the outside skins. So I'll turn off the ground. I'll turn on the ground so you can see. So select wall, that's everything. So you see it's everything there with the ground. That button there zooms in, but it won't because the ground's selected. I'll turn off the ground, and then I'll zoom in. So that's my trailer there with the drop height. Now, as said, this dropped 200 mils in height, so the area won't have changed, but you should always just double check to make sure that your area hasn't changed. Coming down, project it here. Select the wall, make sure you don't select the ground, because the ground is perpendicular to the area you're trying to get projected onto the X, and it can really crash your computer if you select the ground. Make this 0.01. That's the min feature or the resolution. And you'll see that this area here is going to be pretty much the same as this area up here. That 2 there at the end is just, actually, if I click compute again, it might come up with this value. So that doesn't matter at that decimal place on meter squared. So that's the business there. If the trailer was going higher, which it was in some of the simulations above the van, I'd need to run this, get a new value for this, click in here, copy, and then paste that new value in here, and also make a note of it on my page because I might need it later for working out drag force. So that's it. All of this has been loaded in. New mesh, new everything there. So yeah, no, that's the business there. And so all you got to do now, once you're happy with that, is just come up here, click export, export case, and I have a naming system here for my case file. Save all your cases as .case.h5 because they're much better than the .gz option down there. They're much loader to load and create, so don't try and stay away from this. So I have a naming system here. IGF1. This guy was plus 400 because it's 400 below the van. And SLT for special longer tongue. Right, so click OK. So that usually takes a few seconds to prepare. Now, what I do with these, I don't go down here to run calculation and do it on my local computer. I run these on a HPC here. So I'm logged into that here now, and I'll just create a new system for this. So I use WinSCP and I use MOBA Xterm. And so you can learn a little bit more about them and how they can be used if you're using a HPC. So IGF, just call it IGF, and I'll call it plus 400 SLT. And I'm going to come up here to minus 400th version and drag the Fluent commands file and the batch file. So to run a simulation on HPC, you need those 2 files at least. Paste them in there. So the Fluent commands file just tells the solver what to do. I just want to run here those yes no thing. The Fluent just expects them when it starts up. Read this case file. My one's not called minus, it's called plus 400. Hybrid initialization, solve for 1,000 iterations, and then write the files like this. And always write them and read them as .h5 because they're quicker. X out of that, then you have a batch file, and a batch file is just sort of examples of, you can get it to send you out an email, and you can get it to set the number of cores that you want and the amount of time you want the simulation to run for. And you can give it a name up here. Right, and particularly down this as well, this tells you to open up Fluent with 20. Make sure that that matches with the number of cores that you want to run with. So that says 1 node and 20 cores. If that was 2 and 20, I'd need to put this as 40 because 2 nodes at 20 cores each is 40 cores. Right, that should be ready. So that would have been in Fluent 20, and you can look at which Fluent it was created in by going back to your thing here, and you click on that block there, and you can see that block is related to Fluent 20. Come in here, and you see that there's the plus 400 that I just wrote. Drag it over. That'll get done. Then once that's loaded in, as I said, it's taken a while there. You just come up here and you click this box and when SCP, and you go S batch batch.sh. So that's what my batch file is called. Click execute and then it should submit the job and you'll be done. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Hope it gave you a little bit of enlightenment on some things you can do in Fluent to save some time. Thanks.